Good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's new episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is day 2 of Dave streaming 5 times a week that you're going to get starting, obviously, this week on Double Barrel Gaming. Yesterday, we had an absolutely outstanding conversation and panel and topics for, of course, the inaugural episode of Xbox Lunch Break Special. That's right, folks. That is the new Monday show that is dedicated to Xbox. You have a panel of myself, Fuzzy Belvedere, and Web Dave. But I'm happy to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that starting next week, Crazy Lou Gaming from Xbox International has joined the cast of characters. And listen, we're going to be bringing you great Xbox content on Mondays for about 70 to 90 minutes. It's a bite-sized show. Again, adding a 5th show to Double Barrel Gaming. But listen, we have one heck of a show for you here today on the Xbox Factor Podcast. We're going to be talking Gears. We're going to be talking about what certain Affinity is working on. We're also going to be talking about, guess what? Grounded being reviewed very well. And you know what? Another giant success story for the team known as Obsidian Games. And listen, you know, quietly and politely, Microsoft is taking gas games to another level. We saw how Sea of Thieves launched, and all they have done over at Rare is make that game one of the best games you can play with your mates. And obviously, if you enjoy the pirate life, then that game is definitely for you. And Grounded has been in preview. Today, it officially launches the 1.0 version. And guess what, folks? People are really enjoying it. I myself have yet to play Grounded because I'm not a multiplayer kind of a dude when it comes to stuff like this. I was waiting for the single player campaign, and that is available today. I cannot wait to get into that conversation and, well, a few others. But let's get into the introductions. And we're going to start first with our special guest, who happens to be home because he lives in Florida. And obviously, that, you know, he has the day off because, well, unfortunately, some big things are happening in the form of Hurricane Ian, which is supposed to hit tomorrow. And obviously, I put a tweet out there from both Mrs. Boomstick and myself to all of our Floridian friends and family that we wish you many, many prayers, and that this storm isn't as bad as they say it's going to be, because obviously with these things comes tragedy, and we do not want that to happen to anybody. Dreadpool, how are you? And welcome to the Xbox Factor Podcast. I don't know, this might be your first time on this show.
I don't remember, to be honest. It's been such a long time. I don't remember. I want to say I might have been, but this was back in the early days.
The early days,
Yeah,
that's right.
so
We turned 5
on
this
Thursday.
November 3rd. So
Yeah, when it was on Thursday. So
oh my
I
God,
don't.
yes.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember fondly being in the chat. So let's just say today is my first day. So thank you. But no, I mean, yeah, it's we're just, you know, getting ready for the party. All the
The so-called party.
yeah, all the transplant New Yorkers and the Californites that are over here are freaking out, and we're just like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just a 4. I mean, I slept through a 5.
It's just a
technically.
4. I love it.
You know, so we had a Cat 5 go through over our heads, and you know, whatever.
Wow.
But no, just playing some games and trying to stream a little bit, and we'll see what happens this week. But I'm definitely looking forward to now. I wasn't before, but now I'm looking forward to trying out Deathloop and seeing a little bit more. They got the rewards points, so you know I got to work my way for that. Over $300 worth of points.
Holy moly, are you kidding me? Wow, dude, that's bonkers.
I'm planning on buying another Series S, only straight up outright with just the rewards points.
Dude, that's a great story. Folks, do you hear what he's talking about? He is going to buy a Series S with
X
points. I mean, who does that for you but Xbox? I mean, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I got my last one. I only paid like $200 for my X.
Oh my God.
The rest of it was in rewards points.
That is so cool. I love it. I love to hear those stories. Well, listen, Dredd, it's great to have you here, brother.
Thank you.
And again, obviously, best best wishes to you and the family. And I'll be checking in on everyone periodically as this thing rolls through. But we're very happy to have you here, making his return appearance. He was lost in Mario Land at some point, but I saved the day by driving my cart through there and throwing him in the back seat. N64 Josh, welcome back, brother.
Hey, so good to be here. Life, you guys. Life is just crazy, but it's good. Life is crazy, but good. So glad to be here. So stoked to hang out with you guys again. Chat, make sure to smash that like button. Good to be back.
Yes. Well, it's great to have you here. And Daniel McGee, what's going on, brother? We were, when as podcasters, we like to talk behind the scenes, and you wouldn't believe what I learned about what goes into a thumbnail creation for his stuff. Daniel, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Just got a video up last night. Posted it kind of a weird hour, but it was ready, so I put it up.
Oh yeah, so you know what? I'll add it to the show links so we can get more eyes and ears on that. But glad to have you here, brother. We have a lot to get into, a lot of speculation town potentially, and I'm glad that you're here to talk about it with us. And last and no way least, Boxenberger, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? And what you been up to, man? When's the next big video coming?
Oh, hopefully tomorrow. I'm finally back at making edited videos. I took a little break for I think it's almost 3 weeks now that I released the last video. I was just super busy with work and everything.
Your new position and everything, dude. It's taking up a lot of your time. Yeah,
absolutely. But I'm so excited to getting back. The video is halfway done. I'm trying to finish it after the show before I go to bed so I can publish it tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I finally have a topic I'm really excited about to talk again. It's going to be fantastic. Hope everyone is going to check it out. And but first, we are having a fantastic show here today. I haven't been on a podcast for a long time with Dreadpool, and it feels like a year or so since we spoke last on a podcast. So that's great to be back. And of course, it's always fun with Danny and Josh and you, Boom. So we're gonna have a blast here today.
Yeah, I appreciate the compliments, brother, and I'm glad to have you back with us. Obviously, the one thing I want to start off the show with is a smaller topic. It's one that I think is worthy of a conversation, and that is what's been up with S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. There were some real nasty rumors going around that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 was not only delayed indefinitely, but potentially canceled. And folks, I'm here to tell you that it's still slated for 2023. This is a big game. This is going to be a big game for Xbox. It's going to be a big game for that company who obviously had to have their entire lives uprooted due to the war in Ukraine. From what I understand, in the last update that I saw, they have officially moved to Prague. I don't know if there's been any movement past then, but it's certainly a story that could have been ended tragically, because obviously there's a war going on in their home country, which is where they were developing these games. And thankfully they got their friends and they got their families out. And, this is, again, when you have these kind of delays, it's a small company, folks. They only have so much money. They're probably working on a shoestring budget, if even that. And, I'm happy to be here to talk about it, that they are in fact going to release the game as planned in 2023. I'll go to you first, Boxenberger. This is a great confirmation for a multitude of reasons. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, we've seen technical demos of it, and it looks like it's going to be an amazing game. It's one of the first games that we're going to be able to play on Unreal Engine 5. They are working on that engine right now for this game. It is expected to be a big open world game with a lot of things to do. Are you happy that the developer themselves came out and confirmed it?
Absolutely. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is one of my most anticipated games, honestly. I loved the first ones. Fantastic games. I love what came out of the studio, and that is the Metro series. It's not the same studio, but it's a part of the people that made the first S.T.A.L.K.E.R left the studio. and founded a Metro studio, and the Metro series was also fantastic. So I'm really excited for Stalker 2, and to hear about all the trouble that they have gone through. If you remember the Xbox showcase in June, the second one, where they had this very emotional trailer at the end, explaining what happened in their home country, how Russia invaded them, and how it affected everything. Like literally 2/3 of the development team are right now at arms fighting for their country. It's amazing that this team still has the will and the power and the strength to continue on. We've heard that part of the studio moved to Prague, and they are working very hard to bring this game out and polish it up. And yeah, I'm super excited. It's gonna be a fantastic game. It looks fantastic. It would have been one of the first big Unreal 5 games if it would have hit the original date in December. But can you imagine under which circumstances they have to finalize this game and polish it up, and for them still to be confident for 2023 just shows you how dedicated and passionate they are about this game. And I really can't wait to see more of it, and eventually I'm gonna play it, and it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, it's fantastic news. Boom.
Yeah, looking forward to it. First of all, Killantis, who's been a member for 6 months, welcome. Here comes the boom. Well, thank you so much for that. We definitely appreciate the channel memberships. And folks, because Mrs. Boomstick and I love being transparent, I got a message from YouTube the other day, and it was met with emotion for me personally, because we crossed 100 channel members, and that's a lot. That's a lot considering how small the channel is. So a big thank you for that. We're sitting at 103 channel members, and it's because of that devotion from the fans and the people in the chat that we are allowed to do these big giveaways. We just did a $500 giveaway on Friday. We're doing another $500 giveaway on the first week of November for Mrs. Boom's birthday. And we're giving away $1,000 in one show, one Breakfast with Boom. We're giving away $1,000 worth of digital gifts, and we pay for that. We pay for that, and how we pay for that is through super chats and through channel memberships. And we are incredibly grateful for all of that, because we love giving back to the community. Because right now it's kind of hard for a lot of people, and if the more that we do, the better we personally feel outside of the content that we produce each and every week. Drawn TJ, generous friend of the program, who's always here and always dropping super chats, he drops a $2 super chat and says, "Good morning, guys." Well, good morning to you, Drawn TJ. Listen, I want to bring up a report that I pulled from GameRant.com, and I happen to really like the work that they do over here. And the reason why we're kind of talking about this is because there was a rumor that was starting to surface that this game was going to be delayed to either 2024 or 2025. Now, immediately, the minute this started making the rounds on social media, CSG Game World promptly answered this criticism by calling it absurd. And it says that they normally do not respond to rumors, but they wanted to assure the fans who have been patiently waiting for this game to come out that it would be arriving in 2023. I'll go right over to our special guest, Dreadpool. This is the game that's coming directly into Game Pass day and date. It is currently an exclusive, though we don't know how long of an exclusive. Is it 6 weeks? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Did Microsoft send a bunch of cash over to them because of what was happening? And did they lock it in for as an actual exclusive? As far as we know, there's no planned PlayStation 5 release. This is going to be a big game next year on top of what we already know Microsoft is delivering. What are your thoughts on the confirmation of the CSG Game World calling it absurd?
What do we say? What's good for the goose, good for the gander, right? But apparently not this time around. And that's the thing. Everybody's looking forward to it. There's been many people and to see the hypocrisy sometimes, just it just gets
Isn't
old.
it heart-wrenching when you see someone go out and do something like this just to be a D-bag?
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
It just gets old, and it's just like, why do we keep paying attention to these people? And unfortunately, they're getting the attention that they're seeking, and that's the
Yeah.
worst part. But we have to like, those of us that know better have to stand up and speak against
And
this,
talk about it.
and
Yes.
notify
Yes.
people, because just like back in the 360 days and the PS3 days, right? You had to pay for your Xbox Live, but PlayStation was free. You know how many people got suckered into the PlayStation 4 thinking it was going to be free too, and then they found out, no, it's a paid service. Your free service part is basically useless. It's the same thing here. You have to let people know before they get suckered into something. So it's just one of those things. It's like I said, it gets tiring to hear this stuff, but we got to speak up and speak out against the false narratives.
I agree. I think it's an important conversation to have, because obviously, you want to see this. First of all, let me just say this before I bring in Daniel on this. I think that as a human being, you have to look at the situation and want this company to succeed because of all the trials and tribulations that they had to have them and their families have had to deal with in the midst of a war. You know what I'm saying? They didn't move off the block because there was gangbangers, ladies and gentlemen. They had to move out of their country because of a war, right? So the fact that we're getting this game still shows their tenacity to want to deliver something special. Daniel, what are your thoughts on them confirming that this game is still coming out next year?
I think it's outstanding. What was it? The Xbox showcase this year, we saw that video of basically what they've been going through, right? Where there was like one dev who was sleeping in a stairwell with a dog, and somebody who had to like walk past all this rubble and ruin to get to work every day. And I think most of us came out of that video like, hey, it's okay if you just don't make the game. Like, I don't think any of us would have been mad if the game ended up getting canceled or like indefinitely delayed, because I mean, the city that they work in is at least significantly destroyed, right? It's heartbreaking, right? So I think the fact that they're sticking to it and are getting the game out as early as next year is commendable. I do hope that they're not making it a major priority. Maybe it's good for them for like mental health, just to have something to work on that isn't, their friends and family, going through this terrible situation. So who knows? I'm glad that it seems like they're still plucking away at it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Got to shout out Jason Hackett in the chat. He says, and I agree with this sentiment, because I'll be buying the maximum version of whatever it is. If it's $100, I'm going to be buying the game. He said, I will definitely be supporting this game. To develop a game in the middle of fighting for your country is crazy. Praying for the devs and families are safe. Thank you so much for the awesome comment, Jason. And I agree. I think that, look, again, we love games, which is why 303 people are here, right? We're all talking about video games. We're all excited that our box is right over here, or your handheld that you're going to get in October, or you're playing on your TV or your computer or whatever. We're all happy to play games, but real life must take front and center. This is one of those situations that I think that even though it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, everyone, and again, if you can afford to, you try to help in ways that go beyond just playing the game. And obviously, not people have Game Pass like myself, who is retired, right? Like, I don't have a whole bunch of money coming in. I have a great pension the NYPD provided for me, and I did what I had to do as a police officer, so I have a good pension. But I'm still not going to deny what Game Pass does for me. Josh, let's get your opinion on this. Obviously, you do a lot of development work. You're a musician. You do a lot of TikTok stuff. And you said it when you came back for the first time in a couple of weeks, real life, right? It gets in the way sometimes. And a priority, must be put forward before gaming. these developers are fighting a war. They are defending their country, and this game is still coming out in 2023. And they poo-pooed any of this, delayed shenanigans. How commendable is this?
I mean, it's amazing, honestly. And I was just watching the 9-minute. I fired up the 9-minute.
Gave me
trailer
goosebumps,
again,
bro.
right?
Yeah.
It seems like it seems like this game may be quite a ways along, which is why they're able to say, yeah, it's still coming out. Even in the video I'm watching, it's like this game got delayed till 2025. Like that's like right. It's like the pinned comment, and it's it's just funny as we're talking about it. But
people are.
I love the way this game, it really seems to channel Half-Life, and I really dig that about it. I'm like, it's crazy that the devs are able to keep doing with what's happening around them, and they need all the support and love they can get. So maybe we could rally the troops and make sure to send them some positive tweets. Hop on Reddit, do some fight the good fight over there too, because we God knows it needs it.
Absolutely. And Dreadpool put a comment in here, and I want you to elaborate before we move on to the next topic, because this is really great. He says, what's sad is that they're dodging real bullets and still dodging toxic troll bullets. I mean, that's wow, Dread. I don't think I could have said that any better myself. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that whole negativity, and I think part of it, it seems to be the jealousy of it's not coming to my preferred platform.
Ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
And so thus far the game is no good. It's not coming out. It's never going to happen. It's because whatever issues that they've had, and it's like there's no issues other than the war. They are fighting for their lives. Not only are they fighting for their livelihood by making a game and trying to produce great content for us to play and enjoy, they're fighting for their country. So it's just, yet again, it's sad to see that this is what's going on with the narratives.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that at the forefront of something as serious as an actual real life war, we have a-holes in this community using console war shenanigans to replace an actual real war. I'm just going to say this. I don't shout out people for their stupid behavior, because that's not what we do here. We don't pile on the rabbit on this channel. But I got to tell you, man, look in the mirror, folks. If you're one of these people that are out there pushing that this game is delayed because, whatever, you might want to, kind of just take a better look and see maybe you're doing it all wrong. But with that said, we got to talk about Certain Affinity, ladies and gentlemen. Certain Affinity, well, I don't know if you know who they are. Well, you probably should, because some of the greatest Halo maps of all time has been made by Certain Affinity. And thanks to Daniel McGee, which I'm going to go to first on this, well, they've been working on Call of Duty since when, Daniel?
Since World at War, according to their website, at least.
Well, there you go. So if you enjoy Call of Duty multiplayer, you probably played on one of their maps. Now, why are we talking about Certain Affinity? Well, apparently, according to an article written by a friend of the community, Andy Robinson, over at Video Games Chronicle, the studio claims it's working on something big and new for the Halo franchise. Now, CEO Max Hoberman said this: the biggest thing we're doing that's public right now, for more than 2 years now, we've been working on Halo Infinite, doing something that they're very perceptive about saying what they can actually say about it. It is a big deal. Max Hoberman, if you don't know who he is, he runs this studio. He is a Halo veteran, has worked with Bungie, has worked with 343. They are designing what is expected to be a battle royale for Halo. Now, I'm going to be honest with you folks, just not really my bag, but because they're doing it and because it's going to be different and big, I may have to get into this Halo stuff. Now, obviously, they've confirmed, and like I said, they, meaning the CEO, Max Hoberman himself, has confirmed they've been working on this for over 2 years. They have currently over 100 staffers working on this project, and he says this: we are doing something unannounced, and we're doing lead development on that unannounced thing. From conception to design, it's something big and new for the franchise, but I can't say any more about that. And this is what he finishes off with, and during this interview, that's our single largest project of our 3 projects currently. We have close to 100 developers working on it. Now, folks, Certain Affinity is also currently at work on a Monster Hunter-esque game as an exclusive for Xbox, which sounds dope, but we got to talk about Halo Infinite. And Josh, well, you're back at the nick of time to talk about Halo because, well, it's one of your favorite things to talk about. How big of a deal, and more importantly, we know how Apex Legends is. It's different, right? It's teams of 3. People love it. It was shot out of a cannon, and it has been popular since it came out of absolute nowhere. Fortnite is a behemoth that continues to add and bring back new characters. They are the ultimate character multiplayer game because people are running around as Snake Eyes like I am. People are running around as Mando. People are running around as Superman. It's bonkers.
They're running around as the guy from Fortnite, aka Master Chief.
Run around as the guy from Fortnite. That's probably the least one I've ever seen, to be honest with you. But there is a guy Fortnite you could run around in. For you personally, hearing that Certain Affinity is working on something quote unquote big, are you excited to see what they can do with Halo Infinite? That's not going to be your standard PvP, right? It's not going to be, big team battle. It's not going to be, Slayer or shotguns and, shotties and snipes, right? It's going to be their version of what is expected to be a battle royale game, but different. Talk about
it. We need something. There's got to be something to breathe life into this poor game. Like,
now that's the other question I forgot to ask you, right? And I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. Give us your opinion. I'll read it live on the air. Can a battle royale game save Halo Infinite?
I'm really scared for Boxenberger's answer, honestly.
Well, Boxenberger is gonna give it to you raw, and that's what we love about him. But it's okay. Let's hear what you have to say, Josh.
Yeah, I feel like there's been damage done, honestly. Like, and I'm not sure. Like, I feel like the strategy for them moving forward is got to be new players. It's got to be targeting those players that are still enjoying Apex and Warzone and Fortnite, and giving them a reason to come, to jump into this game. Like, what they already have HCS, right? They've already got the competitive side going, but I mean, Apex is doing competitive stuff. Fortnite does competitive stuff. Like,
yep.
They're gonna have to add to it. They
Can I throw a monkey wrench into what you might say?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I applaud Epic and Fortnite for doing is bringing in guest characters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we saw when Gears 5 was released that they added guest characters to their multiplayer. They had a couple of Halo characters. They had the Terminator in there. They had Sarah Connor. And unfortunately, even though they had a few, they never continued the elaboration on it. I kind of wanted them to push the envelope, and they didn't. I think guest characters for a game like Halo could potentially be a big thing. Now, you can say characters, you can say skins, however you personally want to make it known that that's what you want. Personally, for me, I would love to see a Halo Infinite multiplayer that is based on even though I'm not that kind of a gamer. Like I don't like battle royales traditionally. For me, I just don't. But if you add guest characters, if you add a skin for Marcus Phoenix, if you add a skin for, I don't know, pick whoever you want to put a pirate in there, for crying out loud. I don't care. Yeah. I think that would do the game major justice. Could that be what they're talking about, Josh, when they say it's different?
I hope there's more to it than that. Honestly, I feel like that is the low hanging fruit. That is just like the question is why aren't we seeing some of this stuff happening already? You know, we should be seeing some kind of Sea of Thieves, representation within Halo. Gears, of course, Doom guy, maybe even some Skyrim, yes. Right? Like, I mean, however, like,
who would want to see a power armor from Fallout?
Yeah, exactly this. And we got to see them get weird in MCC, and it gave all of us hope that like we were going to see some of these crazy armors in Infinite as well. And don't get me wrong, they're finally getting to the point to where I feel like I you don't necessarily see everybody looking the same at every at the beginning of every match, but this, I mean, it's just still one of the other missteps. I feel like, unfortunately, that there's just not enough. Not only are they lacking like any kind of just like real uniqueness when it comes to these, like, how do you add gears to Halo? What do you do to make that
the fact that has yet to happen in actual real life all these years later is still a conundrum to me as a fan. I'm going to be honest. Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is going to be the gameplay of this BR. What is going to separate it? What is it going to do that's going to get people to play? Right? I mean, yeah. we remember the conversations from old Halo documentaries talking about the 30 seconds of fun, right? And how the each interaction was, they need to, that needs to happen again, but for a modern era. There's a great foundation, and I think especially with those of us that have been playing Halo since it came out, or maybe started with Halo 3, something along those lines, we see what Halo Infinite is capable of, but we also see it showing its age even as a brand new game. Like, you can't come out with just a handful of maps. You can't just sway. We saw a massive sway in Halo 5 that was just to either uber casual or big time, like, competitive. There wasn't really the middle ground just for like the weekend warriors, right? And so we live in a we live in a time now where, like, free to play games, they've got to have the content, and they've got to have, like, what's the map going to be like? How is it going to change from season to season? What is going to go on there? Is there going to be different rings that we get to go and explore? And are they going to get destroyed as we finish off each season and we end up on a different Halo ring? Is it all like, there's got to be some things that are really going to build hype and get people excited. It's those end of the season events and the beginning of new season. Fortnite does it so well. How many of us remember flying?
Dude, the black hole, people stood and watched for days. Jesus Christmas. People streamed a black hole.
Right.
And they were like, look, we're just sitting here waiting, and hours of Twitch streamers streaming a black hole, bro. Like, it's crazy that, I'm not a Fortnite guy. And look, folks, I'll admit it. I'm 52. I stood at the screen like this, waiting for something to happen, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, and it when we all got to fly in as the Avengers, and like, that kind of stuff was I hate to say it, it was epic though. That's really what it what it was. And so, but it builds hype. There's got to be something that is going to, like, really shock and awe people. If this comes out feeling like an Apex clone, feeling like a Warzone clone, it doesn't feel unique. It doesn't have that 30 seconds of fun, that thing that is going to make people want to put down the other game to get into this. It makes me super worried for this series. I hope that there's going to be, that very thing that helps Boxenberger like Halo again,
You know what, Boxenberger, let's bring you into the conversation here, because you have been extremely vocal, as I, but I don't think I have been as vocal as you, and you have every right to feel that, to give your honest opinion about this. Again, if this was work from some other team outside of certain Affinity, I'm with Josh. I would have major concerns, because I'm like, wow, they're putting the potentially the the whole series on the backs of an unknown developer, now I'm worried. But this is certain Affinity, and they've been working on this for 2 years. I know that there was a lot of talk from many people within 343. They were like, yeah, BR, the only BR is the battle rifle, which of course probably wasn't the smartest thing and has aged poorly, to be honest with you. But with that said, there's still an opportunity for them to release something that's not only great, but something that is different. Where do you personally feel? Where's your confidence level for certain Affinity to deliver what Halo needs, and that is content?
Yeah, actually, I feel similar like Josh. See, the thing is, I'm with you on on the confidence level towards certain Affinity. They have done a lot of work in the shooter space, and they have done a lot of very reliable work in the shooter space. Yeah, Call of Duty doesn't allow for delays. They don't delay Call of Duty.
That's why there are 8 studios working on that one game.
Exactly, but they have that down. They have that. Okay, we have to deliver at a certain time, a certain amount of maps or content. They have that down. They are also no stranger to Halo. They have worked on other Halo games before, like you said. Some of the best maps came actually from certain Affinity. All that speaks obviously pro this mode, whatever it is. We all assume it's a battle royale. Let's see if it will end up being that. Maybe it's something else, something that they're gonna surprise us with. So I'm still hoping more for a PvE mode, to be honest, and not a battle royale. But whatever it is, of course, new content for Halo is always welcome. The problem is the game is still going to be managed by 343, and before we don't see 343 getting their act together, their shit together, I'm not giving any benefit of a doubt here anymore.
Listen, you're being completely fair. I mean, obviously, there's been a major shakeup over at 343. I don't know how long ago, because these things, before we learn of them, they happen weeks, sometimes months before, right? Like we learn that these things are going when the studio tells us that this is going on, unless you get a leaker who has good information. And this is something that I believe Microsoft, Halo, and 343 kept really close to the vest, because the franchise is a bit damaged, like Josh was saying. I agree with you. I think you're walking in eggshells when it comes to 343, and you have every right to do so.
So I remember a show like a couple of months ago where we talked about 343 and what we could do. Honestly, I can't remember who it was at that day on the panel suggested just hand the entire Halo Infinite game over to certain Affinity. Let them manage the ongoing live service thing, and then go into 343, fire the management, restructure the entire studio, and give them a chance at a Halo Infinite 2. And it still sounds to me like probably the best way. So where do I stand with this certain Affinity thing? I actually do trust certain Affinity. I am a little scared, honestly, how 343 is going to handle whatever good game they are going to come up with or a good game mode they're going to come up with at certain Affinity. So yeah, I can't say my excitement is through the roof. It's still interesting to see, though, what this big new unknown mode actually will be. It still rings in my ears that Phil Spencer said a couple of years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that they don't need a battle royale. So I'm not sure if they have greenlit at that time, because that's around about the time that the certain Affinity mode is in development. Yeah, I don't think that they greenlit a battle royale mode. I still have hopes that it's something else, and I'm excited to see what it is. But I'm honestly scared that this is just gonna be mismanaged by 343 again. So yeah.
Well, listen, Max Hoberman, like I said, is a great leader. He has a lot of industry know-how, if there was one person that I would actually trust with Halo, it would be him and his team. I think everyone moving forward understands that any further missteps are going to damage his brand potentially from ever coming back. Like I said, me folks, you've heard me talk about this before. I'm in absolute love with Halo Infinite. I wish I would have the ambition to play every day. After doing both battle passes. I wish there was more. I mean, we are getting a new map. They did unveil a new map. That's one of the original maps that's coming at the Halo tournament that they did over the weekend. So we know we're getting at least one map. Personally, again, I'm not a developer. I'm just a knucklehead podcaster. I would love to see them be putting out at least one new map, one revamped original map per month. I think that if they did that, people would be so excited to get back into Halo because they would be playing on these classic maps. I think the fact that we don't have one per month, considering how many maps there are and some really, really great ones, it just is what it is. But I don't want to drag this down any further. I do want to get Daniel McGee's opinion on this, and then we'll get Dreadpool and get his final opinion on this. Daniel, both Boxenberger and Josh have important things to say. I don't think it can be discounted that they have concerns. But I believe in Max Hoberman and his team. And when they say that they're working on something big, I don't think that he's talking out of the side of his neck, so to speak, as the kids say. Where's your confidence level on Certain Affinity delivering the next big thing for Halo, or specifically Halo Infinite?
I mean, pretty high. Like, I understand the concern, of course. Like, 343 has proven that they're not capable of putting out the speed of content that people want, right? That they're not able to sort of fill that gap with maps and modes and all those things, right? But this is a different team. This is Certain Affinity. They're coming in making presumably a battle royale mode, maybe something else. And as long as they're able to sort of keep up with it, I think it could be Halo Infinite saving grace, honestly, because that's the number one thing that people like. The narrative has completely changed since Halo Infinite came out to where when it launched, it had great reviews. Everyone was loving it. And then really its only problem is that there isn't enough of it, right? Is people want more maps. They want more game modes. They want more guns, right? So if Certain Affinity can do what they've been doing seemingly for the majority of their studio's career and bolstering up the multiplayer of Halo Infinite, I mean, I certainly trust them to do so. And I think a battle royale or something to that effect would be probably the best idea that they could do, right? Because it's not just like, hey, here's this new game mode that we can play with, but it's also we were talking about the black hole from Fortnite. We were talking about like the Avengers moment, right? There's so much more that you can do when you have this one evolving map, right? Like you can tell an entirely separate story inside this battle royal that doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the story of Halo Infinite, and honestly probably would be better off if it didn't.
I agree. Yep.
So I think honestly just give full control of this battle royale mode to Certain Affinity. Just put a little tab on the Halo Infinite thing, so that like the menu, so that we can say it's the same game and help Halo Infinite look a little bit better. And I think we just cross our fingers and hope that they can get content out a little bit faster than 343, which seemingly they have a lot of experience in doing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, that's everyone's so far great points. Dreadpool, let's get your final opinion on this, brother. I mean, obviously, you've heard what Daniel Boxenberger and N64 Josh said, as well as myself. For you, you like playing multiplayer. It's your thing. You like hanging out with people in the community. There really isn't a better multiplayer, a history of multiplayer than it is Halo. Where do you personally fall, considering the ups and downs that 343 constantly continues to have versus Certain Affinity, who has not really put out a bad product since being involved with Halo, going all the way back to the Bungie days? What about what are your thoughts on what they're going to deliver that's new and big? Dread, you're on mute, brother.
Oops.
There you go.
I just wasted my whole intro.
How dare
so,
you?
Yeah, you know what? So no, I mean they've worked out with many studios, big names, and they've had history with Halo. So who better else than obviously 343 should have been the ones, but who better else to work on Halo and bring some light to this situation, right? So I'm thinking they're gonna go old school, and they're gonna go back to the old the original trilogies, and they're gonna have a Halo kart racer a la Diddy Kong with all the vehicles.
I like it.
running
I
around,
like what you're putting down. I'm playing that.
right? So, but at the same time, if you think about it, let's just say they are going to do like an actual BR, right? Let's do in the style of Perfect Dark Zero, because the multiplayer mode was basically a training mode. So when you died, you just you digitized. So this could be their non-official canon story, or it could be part of the canon tied into Halo as a training simulator for Spartans. Spartan versus Spartan. And with all this, it could lend to at least kind of give you a one-off, and then not really make it permanent, like, oh, this person's Master Chief, he should always win, or this person's this character, but at the same time, think about that. How many characters have we had in all these Halos, even in ODST, right? So you could actually pick out these skins and go from there. Not just the colors. We could pick out different skins that they had in the past. So it'd be interesting to see what they come out with. I mean, I'd love to see some sort of racer. I mean, we've all talked about it. It would be hilarious, and it would be, unfortunately, a downfall if they did do that. But they do need something fresh, something to re-energize. So BR or not, whatever it is, I want to see what they come up with. I just, like I said, there's certain avenues that they can do this that I think would make sense and fit in, even if it was a kart racer or BR. I mean, you can even do a BR in kart racers. They've had that in other ones where if you're in last place after a certain time, you get kicked out, and then the next person get kicked out. So they do have those modes in racers. So it is what it is. I mean, like I said, anything that everybody has already said, I'd love to see. I just want to see some sort of life brought back, because unfortunately, as much as I love Halo, I've lost that love and feeling. You know what I mean?
I hear you. And you know what? You're not the only person to say that. As someone that has a real affinity for, no pun intended, for Halo, there isn't an urgency to go and play a game that only released last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate, but hopefully they can work it where certain affinity injects a new mode that people are excited to play. And what that does is it takes the scrutiny and spotlight off of Halo Infinite in its current form and factor, and it puts it over to certain affinity. And what that allows the team at 343 to do is adjust to the new management that has taken over the conversation in gaming. Right. And then, of course, Dread, produce more content.
Could you imagine multiple team skirmishes versus just one,
yeah,
two teams?
I freaking think that is amazing, dude.
We've said that before. Multi-team, we can have, and then just do like Warzone. Just bring in everybody else in the middle, so you don't know who you're fighting, just per se. So you can have these tactics where you're going in to capture, like you have land grab or capture a base, but you're actually capturing a device, stuff like that, and retrieving it. There's so many different things that they could do, but they need to bring back the life and the soul. And we can't rely on Forge, right? Forge is not supposed to be to fix the game. Forge is supposed to be an addition to.
Forge is probably going to be the one to save the game.
Unfortunately,
to be honest with
that's
you.
what's looking like. But I'm hoping certain affinity does whatever they do that brings back the life and takes the talk away from Forge, because Forge should not be that thing that brings back and resurrects.
It should just be
Halo.
An addition to the greatness.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's topic number 2, I think. Right, we're up to topic number 3. But before we get there, got to welcome in the 400 people that are here. Thank you so much for being here today. Hit the like button if you're new. I see some new names in here. Consider subscribing. We are 11,200. We are just under 800 away from 12K, which is something that Mrs. Boom and I are striving for in 2022. I don't know if we're going to have enough push for the remainder of the year to get that, to get there. But if you're new and you want to help with that transition to get us to 12K, please, by all means, consider subscribing and, of course, hitting the like button. But I got to catch up with some of the super chats. And the first one another one comes to us from X Wolverine XX, who is not only a new member, he drops a $2 super chat and says, thank God if it's a BR. And I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. Isaac Gentry, who's been a channel member, wow, man, for an entire year. Thank you so much for that. He drops a $2 super chat and says, the only thing that can save Halo is content. Indeed, that is very true. And X Wolverine XX drops another $5 super chat and says, Halo should be more popular than Call of Duty. This should bring Halo back to the top with content. Yeah, I think there is something to be said about them fighting both for your time and your dollar. And unfortunately, 343 has kind of made it easy for other people to come into the space and kind of push Halo to the side. But hopefully we are at the end of the disappointment that a lot of people are feeling with a franchise that launched over 20 years ago. We have another one coming in. Oh, well, this comes the way of Kia Walker, who's not only a channel member for a year, actually 16 months. But he says he is someone that drops constant information bombs to me on and through DM. So a big shout out to you, Keo, for always delivering that. He says it's time to get back to Grounded. Yeah, it's downloaded. I got to get to it because I really want to play it. Everyone's talking about it. In fact, we're going to talk about that very soon. Chris R drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, I've seen people say that regular Call of Duty multiplayer suffers since all of the resources go to Warzone. If true, 343 and certain Affinity could split duties. Indeed, that is actually an excellent idea. I'd like to see them do that. That would be pretty good. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, Kia Walker brings up Grounded. So I am going to bring up the topic that I have for you next. And of course, we're going to be talking about Grounded because obviously there's a lot to talk about. This game is getting really good reviews. It is currently sitting at an 84 on PC and an 81 on Xbox Series X. Now, I don't know why there's a disparity of 3 points. Who the heck knows? Maybe it was one team that only reviewed it on one or the other. I don't know. But these are the early scores that came out. Windows Central gave it a 9 out of 10. PC Gamer gave it a 9 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 for Destructoid. PressStart.com gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Dual Shockers gave it an 8 out of 10. And GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. Games Radar gave it a 7 out of 10. And that's fine. Absolutely their opinion. But that's right. Today is the day that Grounded is moved out of preview. It is officially launched as Grounded 1.0. It has a story mode and campaign. A lot of people have been waiting for it. I know that Colt Eastwood talked about it last night on his show on XNC, which was great with Gaz. And him and Randall Thor have been playing. I think Randall Thor talked about it. He said he's over 30 hours into the game, and they're quite enjoying it. I mean, listen, if you put 30 hours into anything, you're probably enjoying it. And obviously, I want to hear from the chat on this. Over 400 people here, so big thank you for that. Are you interested? Are you heading over to Xbox Game Pass to download or update your Grounded? Because I never played Grounded because of the multiplayer thing. I just don't have the time. So I really was looking forward to finding out how these kids got shrunk, where this for. I know there's a survival aspect to the single player, which I'm okay with. I'm really looking forward to digging deep into this. And we'll start first with Josh. Josh, you play a lot of Josh may not be back yet. You know, Boxenberger, let's go to you because this is an opportunity. And like I said in the opening, Microsoft is quietly doing some things in the space that Sony has talked about, and it's only on paper for Sony. They have apparently 10 to 12 gas games in development. Well, Microsoft quietly has, with Sea of Thieves and Rare, done some big things in the space. And obviously, Grounded came out, and it was I don't know. I think the studio size was what, 12 people that built Grounded in its preview form.
20
people. So there you go. 20 people put this game together, and it's getting good reviews. It's officially out for everyone to play. What are your thoughts on the scores?
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see that these little projects, the passion projects, are getting the chance to actually being developed, and when they do a good job, it just shows you it really doesn't matter sometimes how big the budget for a game is, how big the team for a game is. Hellblade 1 also a little above 20 people. I think it was 23 or 24 people made Hellblade 1. So small teams can achieve great things if they are passionate about it, and if they get the chance to develop their vision for the game. And this was one of it. The game has been in a playable state for, I want to say now, 2 years, something like that, already. Now this update, the 1.0 release, adds a lot of cool content to it. And even before the game released, how many million did the players that the game have? I want to say 10.
I think it was 10 million. I'll
10 million, right?
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing what that game has done over the last 2 years. So I'm really glad that it gets the recognition from the media, and the reviews are great. Because they obviously deserve it. Obsidian has given them the chance to do this, and it is awesome. Here, Gio Walker in chat says 11 million players. There you go.
Yeah. I actually have the story pulled from Xbox.com, news.xbox.com on February 10th. They confirmed that 10 million players have played the game. Yeah,
it's insane. It's insane if you think about how small the team was in the beginning, and how it started all out. Great to see. So I actually have it downloaded as well. I played it a little bit when the game actually came out 2 years ago or so, but then I dropped out because at the time there wasn't really that much content. And I'm looking forward to go back and actually play the campaign, the story mode. It's awesome. And I also want to mention one other thing you touched on, Boom. Like Xbox is doing great things with their games as a service, and they really, really do. Halo is probably the worst example, but if you look at games like State of Decay 2, if you look at Sea of Thieves, and how and now and even games like Grounded, these ongoing games, they put years and years of support in it, and they get millions and millions of players. It's amazing to see, and not all of these games need that AAA budget to do that, and that is very, very cool to see.
It is. Obviously, the studio over Obsidian is run by Josh Scheuer. He has a game coming out that's a passion project for him. That people that have played it are quite enjoying it. And again, it's one of the smaller releases like Grounded, Boxenberger, that could come in on the scene. And even though it may not be everyone's game, it might be a game that you're like, wow, I didn't know I needed this game in my life, and here it is. And I think
not every game needs to be for every gamer. That's the beauty of diversity in gaming.
Yes, 100%, absolutely, 1,000%. Josh, let's bring you in on the conversation. Grounded being reviewed pretty damn well, currently sitting at an 81 on the Xbox Series X, 84 on PC. This is a game that has been in preview for about 2 years, give or take, right? It has crossed over 11 million players. That was confirmed by several people in the chat. This is a passion project that had 20 people that made this game, and now it has turned into a contender for maybe a gas game of the year, to be honest with you. And again, Obsidian just continues to deliver. And my God, the fact that they are Xbox first party is a win for every Xbox gamer. What are your thoughts on what's happening with Grounded?
It's one of those games that I know very little about it. I know that there was like an arachnophobia mode that made the spiders look really, really, really goofy, right? I love the headlines. I love that we're seeing it review so well. I think it's fantastic. The stuff that Obsidian is doing, I mean, it seems like everything they touch turns to gold at this point. And so, the more the merrier. The fact that there's 11 million players, I love that. I love that there's such a massive community that's into this game. And to be perfectly honest, it makes me want to jump in and give it a go. It's just a matter of finding time. Like I said at the beginning of the show, real life, right? It's just you guys you're gonna scold me. I've owned a PS5 for 2 weeks as of today, and it's still sitting in the box next to me. I have yet to open it.
I mean, God of War is coming out, and that's going to be a banger, as the kids like to say. I can't wait to play it. So maybe that's when you open it up. The Last of Us looks great. The remake, I'm not spending $70 on that. I can assure you that. When it's $30 on Black Friday, I will buy it. I will play through it. I will take 1,000 pictures and enjoy the remake. But I mean, I understand it. I look, folks, I'm not saying this to be trolly. All right. I have a PlayStation 5. I have 20 games. I have 3 controllers. I got the camera. I'm in the bag, bro. I'm all in the bag for Sony's stuff. But I haven't turned. The last time I turned on my PlayStation 5, and again, this is not being a troll. This is straight up honesty, is when I was dusting. And I was like, God damn it. I turned it on. And I got to stop dusting, and I got to wait for the thing to come on to then shut it off. So, I mean, it's just because it's not my main way to play. And Sony has put out games. I only buy their first party stuff. I don't really play it. The last game I played was S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and I really, really enjoyed S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I'm about 3/4 of the way done. I'm going to beat that game by the end of the year. I quite enjoyed it, but I see your point, Josh.
It's just there's so much, right? But I mean, I'm here to celebrate stuff. I like to celebrate the side of gaming rather than complain about it as much as I can. Don't get me wrong. The games I'm passionate about, I'm going to give my constructive criticism to. Looking at you, 343, but it's because I love the series and I'm here for it. And guess who's still dropping money into 343's pocket? I am, because I'm
right there with you. I dropped over $100 in between both seasons. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, I'm hoping that by season 6, when I've got the retro Spartans from season 1 and season 2, everybody's like, whoa, where'd you get that? The FOMO can set in at that point. So it's all calculated. But I see Boxenberger shaking his head do not give them a penny.
No.
I mean, I'm stoked for Obsidian and what they're doing, and I'm stoked for the future of what they're going to put out on the Xbox. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm real happy for the team. Honestly, I'm super happy. Daniel, let's get your opinion on this, brother. What are your thoughts on the success of Grounded?
Yeah, I mean, I think Box pretty much already said it, where I think that this is really exciting that they're able to do these sort of smaller projects that they just want to, right? I think that these studios having at least some level of autonomy and being able to just make the games that they actually have passion for is paying off. Whenever they make games that they are interested in, they are going to put more effort into it. They're going to care more about it. They're going to make better games. And that's proven by the fact that Grounded, a survival game made by 10 people, is blowing up in the way that it is, right? It's, it's not taking the world by storm or anything, right? It's not Fortnite, but it's doing a lot better than I think anyone would have expected it to, right? The number of players, even the review scores. It's a really fun game. I played it whenever it first launched into early access for a couple of days, and I had a blast with it. Just kind of fell off because survival games aren't really my thing.
Right.
But I've had it installing before I sat down to start the podcast, and I'm probably going to jump in and at least play through the story of it. I don't know if I'm going to get into the whole building up my house or crafting too much, but It's certainly an interesting thing. I'm really glad that they were able to make it, and I'm gonna play a lot of it.
Well, I mean, again, I love to hear those stories because, like I said, not I say this all the time. Not every game is for every gamer. This is a survival based game, but I think that it appears that they are going to do it in a way where it doesn't feel too hand holdy, but at the same time still give you a challenge and maybe have you enjoy a genre that you don't normally get into. Real quick, shout out to Dragon Heart Yobi. What's going on, my brother? Hopefully you are doing well. He says hashtag peace, life, and a peace, love, and life to the hardest working podcaster in the gaming community. Keep up the great work and happy birthday. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, the old man turned 52 on Sunday. And my family, not only Mrs. Boom, not only put her foot in the pot, so to speak, when she delivered one of the best meals I've had in ages, but my family was great when they gave me all kinds of gift cards. And well, all of my fall games are now paid for and somewhat semi-downloaded. So I'm very excited about that. And Gamer by Choice, what's going on, brother? Welcome back. He drops $2 super chat. And he's been a channel member for 2 freaking years. Thank you so much for that. He says my PlayStation 5 has been sitting in the shipping box since 9/2021. Wow. You should at least make sure that it works, dude, because I think you might be out of warranty. But yeah, listen, that's just, it is what it is. But Dreadpool, again, you appreciate multiplayer because you like hanging out with the community and having fun. And is Grounded something that you are going to be interested potentially playing even with your family? But are you happy to see the small team that was deliver big time for Xbox fans?
Well, the best part is that they pushed off that negative stigma that any Xbox game comes out that's
60 meta. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? So when you look at it like that, it's great, that they allowed them to make a game. These passion projects don't always work out, I don't know, bleeding edge. But when they do, this is what comes of it, right? You get great games. We've been playing it when it was in the pre-beta, whatever mode that was, with my daughter, and we were both playing it. I've seen Colt Eastwood, obviously Boxenberger, and everybody else has been enjoying the games from back in the day. Now that they're out, you see these scores actually are being counted for, I would say, properly. Even the games radar, you know what? Not every game is for everybody, and that reviewer probably just didn't hit with that person just right to be a 10.0. And not every game is going to be a 10, so you can't fight that and say, oh, it should have been this, it should have been that. It's not. It's whatever somebody feels for it. That's why I say, guys that play Madden should not be judging a racing game or vice versa. Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I was adding this Proteus. This is a game you have to see, but please continue.
Yeah. So when you look at it like that, and that's the whole beauty of the metrics. You get a combined score, and that's without people manipulating it. I don't know. Because we know IGN is not really biased per se, but they are, because they need to make sure that any game that comes out that they say anything negative doesn't come back as a repercussion. So usually, they have a bias for this stuff. There's also players that are playing it that are reviewers. They also have a bias to their platforms that they want to do. But it's good to see that it doesn't seem like there was any bias anywhere. It was just a judgment of the game.
Yep.
We've all played the game in its various fashions throughout the preview, and I can't wait to get back on it now that it's actually finalized and play the real campaign. I've held off for a while because I knew it was just one of those things. There's too many games to play for a console that has no games. So, but that's really it. I jump back in there with my daughter and we'll have a good time.
And that's what it's all about, folks, right? Like, that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Just real quick, if you're wondering what's on your screen, folks, I am here to tell you that if you are Xbox Game Pass subscriber, you must download this game. It's called Proteus. It is Doom meets Quake. It has an old school feel to it, but a very new school RPG element to it. It is absolutely. I've only been able to record 45 minutes, which I'm going to play until towards the end of the show, and I have to put something else on because it's not going to last what we have left in the show. But this game is my God, it is so good. I can't begin to tell you. So many guns, so violent, and the score, the soundtrack is Doom-esque phenomenal. Please, for the love of Joe, go download this. It is absolutely incredible. I got to give a shot. Damn, when the panel members were talking, someone actually DM'd me and said, "Boom, try this game." So I didn't even know this game existed. In Xbox Game Pass, Proteus, go play it. Hashtag Boomstick approved. But I want to move on, folks, to the next topic, and this is the headliner. Gears of War is one of those franchises that does not have a bad one, at least in my opinion, in the series. Now, granted, there's going to be some people that like Judgment. There's going to be people that absolutely loathe Judgment. I happen to really like it, but that wasn't the Coalition. That was People Can Fly. And it was a different kind of Gears. It wasn't traditional in a lot of the ways that it did things. But we got some information, folks, that is exciting and also head-scratching, because we know that the Coalition is working on Gear 6. We know Gear 6 is going to be Unreal Engine 5, right? Confirm, check and check. We also know they're working on an unannounced new IP in Unreal Engine 5. But here is where the Inspector Clouseau hat comes on, folks, because Microsoft has just filed a new Gears of War trademark for a game. Now, what is this game? Now, I got this from game-news24.com. It was written by, his name is Ron. That's his name. He doesn't have a last name, so that's fine. But Ron wrote this report, and the quick take from it, folks. And obviously this is the short version because we want to speak about it. Is that according to Microsoft's patent filed last week, something new was written regarding Gears of War. Now, there has been a lot of talk for what seems like years, ladies and gentlemen, of a Marcus Phoenix MMC-like collection coming to the Gears franchise. Now, listen, say what you want about Master Chief Collection when it launched. It launched broken. It was not great. But to be fair, folks, if you are new or old to Halo, there is no better place to land your boots or put your boots on the ground than the Halo Master Chief Collection, because it is a smorgasbord of everything you could want in one place with updated graphics, and it just looks and plays magnificent. And it's, again, it didn't launch great. It took years to be where it's at now, and that's fine. But Gears of War, at least in my personal opinion, deserves something as special as the Master Chief Collection. Personally, and Crispy Bomb could attest wherever he is. I know he's probably listening right now. I would be thrilled just to get an updated graphics, Unreal Engine 5 version of Gears 1 through 3. I'm okay with that. They don't need to do that for Gears 4 because Gears 4 is on Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 5 is going to be Gears 6. Unreal Engine 4 for Gears 5, which I thought was a masterpiece. I would love to see a collection-esque type of love letter to Gears, and the Coalition. They could deliver something so special. Josh, I want to go to you first on this. When you talk about the Halo Master Chief Collection, right? You love it. I love it. Everyone here probably loves it. What is this patent? It's a game. It's a new Gears game. The question is, what is it? Is it a new old Gears game? Is it a new Gears game? Are we going to get a part 2 to Hivebusters? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Hey, just bring more Gears. That's all I care about. Like,
Thank you, sir.
I'm here for it. To have a Gears collection that was all, like an all HD remake of the Marcus Phoenix games. I'm here for it.
Yep.
I'm one of the few that had well over 10,000 multiplayer kills in Gears 1 and never got my seriously achievement to pop.
Oh no, that's devastating.
Oh, dude, I'm at like 15,000, but it has something to do if people leave during the match, then it wouldn't count the kills, or like, yeah, so frustrating. Because I mean, as an achievement hunter and as a Gears fan, that was one of the things I wanted so badly. But yeah, to see just anything from Gears, like especially if it can fill the space before the next game comes out, as they're making it on Unreal 5, like Unreal 5, right? Is that what we're on, or are they on the? Is that the latest version?
Well, the Gear 6 is going to be Unreal 5. Are you in?
Okay.
5, yes.
I knew it was Gear 6, but I'm like, is it Unreal 6? I just want to make sure I got the info right. That's all. So, so anything that can kind of fill that void would be fantastic. Gears is it's such an incredible series, and it's one of those things that, like, when it dropped, it was one of those games that was an event, right? It was up there with Halo, the Mad World trailers, all that kind of stuff. And it's strange to it doesn't seem like it has the same pull that it used to. So again, it's another thing that, like, put out something that's going to, I mean, what if it's a battle royale, right? What if it's a free to play Gears game? Like,
dude, I'm with you. I'll take anything new for Gears, honestly.
Well, and I mean, Gears would lend itself, just watching your gameplay from earlier. Like, if it was just like, even like a massive PvE, like all out war, would be something just kind of different and maybe really cool. Like, to where, you play. As you play, you level up and get your gear and stuff like that, but then you maybe can't. You're essentially camping out when you're offline, right? And you get to see how far everybody has moved, the progression in the battlefield, or something along those lines. That could just be like an ongoing progression. There's so many ways that we could see, like, PvE evolved. I think the BRs have really evolved, multiplayer and PvP. But how could we see Gears could really lend itself to being a game that kind of revolutionizes the PvE experience? And I mean, we've got games like WoW and whatnot, but I mean, it's an old formula, and just to see something that would, again, it's just like we talked about with 343. What can Gears do to shake things up, to get back into the limelight that they used to be front and center in pop culture again, and get everybody excited to be playing?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Real quick, shout out to Corbini Gaming, who drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, "Hey, Boom, another great show. Thanks for the hard work." Well, thank you very much for the generosity. But thank you, of course, more importantly, for the kind words. We also have another super chat that comes in from Dragonheart Yobi, who drops a $2 super chat and says, "Boom, shh, we don't speak of Gears Judgment." I love it. That's good stuff. Oh my God. Listen, Boxenberger, what are they doing over there? Well, I mean, should we get excited? Is it time to let our herd down, so to speak, or what's going on with this newly? There you go, Daniel. Let us herd down.
It's always down.
Yeah, should we get excited, or I mean, a patent? It's for a game that is confirmed. We just don't know what is it. Someone actually said an RTS Gears game would be cool. I absolutely think that is. Well, you love RTS.
I love that.
Mean, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Actually, it is in a similar direction that I was thinking about when I heard that. Gears Tactics was super popular, and everyone who played it actually enjoyed it. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about Gears Tactics who actually played it. It's a fantastic game, and it could be that this goes into this direction. But other than that, we have heard the rumors about either Gears 2 remaster or similar to the one we had for the first one a couple of years back, or even an entire Marcus Phoenix collection. We've had those rumors for what feels like ages, and so maybe it's finally happening, Boom, and it would be awesome, to be honest. I know there are probably IPs out there that could use a remaster even more, like a Fable. I would love a Fable collection, because the Gears games, they all run with FPS boost, HDR, auto HDR, and they are beautiful still on the series consoles. However, can you imagine like a Gears 2, which is probably the favorite in the series of mine, remade in Unreal 5 from scratch, and to play those epic moments? No spoilers here, but there were some pretty epic moments in that game. Again, that would be just absolutely awesome. So yeah, we've seen Microsoft do a lot with their other big IP, Halo. We have had TV series, we had RTS games, and games like ODST. Yeah, that was just a little different than the main Halo games. And why not do the same with Gears? I think Gears is just as important as Halo.
Yep.
Probably the Chief is still a little bit more recognizable as a global brand, but still, Gears is so attached to Xbox, and it would just be awesome to give the same dedication that they have given with the Master Chief Collection to the Gears IP. Just this awesome fan service for all us Gears heads out there. It would just be awesome. So yeah, we shall see. But I'd also take a Gears Tactics too. I want to make that clear. I'd be super happy about that.
Yeah, me too. I love what they did with Gears 1 when they remastered it. You know, again, they added stuff from the PC that wasn't available on the console version originally, which was great. I mean, there was a whole side mission that was added, which was amazing. Love to see what they could do remastering Gears. I would love to see the trilogy remastered in Unreal Engine 5. I don't know how hard that would be for them to do, going from Unreal Engine 3 to 5. I mean, I'm not technical like that, but
well, it is not easy to do. You basically have to really do the game from scratch again, because the problem with Unreal 3 was actually that they used kind of a different script language in 4. Okay. So when you had to move stuff over, you basically had to do that again. That's the beauty of Unreal 5 and why it's so easy to transition over from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5 now, because basically the two engines are compatible, so your scripts and everything carries over, and you only have to adjust minor things. And that isn't true for Unreal 3 to Unreal 4 or obviously to Unreal 5. That's, by the way, the reason, if you remember the Mass Effect Legendary Edition we got last year, it still ran in Unreal 3 because it would have meant that they had to recode basically all 3 games if they would have ported it over to Unreal 4 or something. Yeah. So it wouldn't be easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you would know better than I would for sure. I would love to see what they do. Again, honestly, I would like to return to Gears in a fresh coat of paint, but I would not be against saying, "Hey, let's get a follow up to Hivebusters," which I thought was phenomenal. If you never played it, my God, please go and play that game. Daniel, let's get your opinion on this, brother. I mean, what's going on here? They don't file patents, especially for new games. If there isn't a new game, is it time for Gears fans to get excited again?
I mean, yeah. Even without this patent being filed, I feel like we're pretty much due for a new Gears game soon here, right? At least an announcement of one. We, as far as I'm aware, we haven't heard anything from the coalition for a number of years, and so theoretically, they are going to be announcing something in the next year or so here. And I know we've heard the rumors that they're working on a smaller project that's not Gears, but who knows? Maybe.
I mean, we have actually seen and heard a lot from them. Honestly, I have to disagree. Last year there were a couple of tech demos that they put out in Unreal Engine. Then we played the Matrix demo. The coalition made that. in cooperation with Epic. So we have seen a bit in the last year from the
Fair.
coalition,
I guess I
and
just
we
mean, like,
recently
the
learned that
game.
they work also on State of Decay 3. So
Well, yeah, they're apparently helping out a bunch of studios, which might be why it's been so long since we've heard a new game from them. But regardless,
honestly,
yeah,
I expect their small game that you mentioned next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we might get that next year and get an announcement for it like early, and then get it later in the year, and then maybe also get an announcement for the next Gears game. Regardless, the Gears is one of those franchises that just lends itself to so many potential genres and venues that this patent could be for pretty much anything, and I'd be okay with it. Right? It could be that Master Chief Collection for Marcus Phoenix, and I'd be down. Like Gears 1, 2, and 3, they could use a new coat of paint, right? Stick that in Game Pass. Just give it like The Last of Us 1 treatment, but actually leave the multiplayer in, which I don't think we would have to be concerned about with Coalition. Or it could be Gears Tactics 2. It could be, a horror game. Like there's so many different options that Gears lends itself to so perfectly. Basically, the only thing that they could do with this that would be disappointing to me would be like Gears Pop 2, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like,
I would be very upset about that. I agree.
Yeah, and it's I'm really excited for it, right? Because for me, Gears of War has always been sort of me personally. I understand that like numbers wise, it doesn't really add up, but they've always been sort of Xbox's top franchise for me. I've never really been a Halo guy. I think Master Chief is a loser, but
yikes!
I'm sorry. He's just a cool guy who says cool things.
Why is he here?
I find it so funny
Why
that
is he
everyone
here?
is taking shots at Halo and 343 lately.
Why is Daniel here?
Oh my God. Daniel, you're gonna set the chat. You're gonna set the chat on fire. Okay, listen.
Sorry, I just think
these are not the words you're looking for. Move along.
Delta is really cool, and I like them a lot. And they're really cool.
Is there a PlayStation show that'll take Daniel?
I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know.
I think he's a secret pony here.
No, I don't think God of War either. I don't belong anywhere.
No, that's fine.
So basically, you're saying that you're like the dwarves from The Hobbit. We don't belong anywhere. We're just here.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Listen, I look. I mean, I agree with you. I will take any Daniel. I will take anything Gears. I'm very excited to see what this is going to be. As long as it's not a disappointment, like like you said, like a pop. Like, oh, look, Gears Pop 2. Oh, wonderful. Great.
That'd be the only thing where I would be like, yeah, no, you should have just not. I would have had nothing.
Yeah, no. I'm hoping for something special. I can't wait to see what is delivered next year from what is expected to be their Unreal Engine 5 unannounced project. And regardless of size, it's still going to be something special because A, it's Unreal Engine, and more importantly, B, it's the Coalition, and they really do good work, and they are the masters, the tacticians of Unreal Engine. It's going to be great to see what they do. Dreadpool, let's get your opinion on this, brother. What do you want to see in this new patent? Because obviously it's a Gears patent, so we know we're getting a Gears game. The question is, what are we getting? What would you like to see done?
Okay, well, I'm going to go all over the place here, so follow along with this one, right? Everybody's already brought up, because I already had this stuff written down, the MFGC, the Marcus Phoenix collection.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, okay, even the Ultimate Edition, which was the remake, that was also in Unreal Engine 3. So for them to make it again, like Boxenberger said, they'd have to make it in 5 and from the ground up. So that would be a nice one if they just redid that. I think part of that would be too soon, because I would think that they would want to release a Gears console with Gears 6 versus the collection. All right. So with them not really announcing any new projects other than whatever that little side project that they're doing to use as a learning step stool, I guess you would say, plus helping out other studios, wouldn't it be cool if this patent had something to do with the Gears movie?
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
I
that was
like that. I like
2018,
that.
and the last really we've heard anything was 2019. That was really the last talking into 2020. So, but here's the other thing: these patents in the U.S. only last for 20 years. So
Oh.
guess what? Gears came out in 2006. When do you think they started making this? Probably 2003. What is next year? I'm sorry, not 2003. 2003. So what is next year? 2023.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just refiling just to make sure that they stay up to date with the patent so they don't lose the name. So that's
I
the
mean,
only thing I could think.
it's. I mean, that could very well be the case, but again, it has been suggested that it's an actual new game. So I mean, only time is going to tell, and you do make a lot of sense where it could be just to retain rights to IP. I hope that it's more than that for sure. But listen, folks, we're through 4 topics, and it's we still have 29 minutes left of the show, so I would be very remiss to end the show right now, because we're having a party with 400 people here. Why not talk about People Can Fly, and why are we going to talk about People Can Fly? Well, it was reported today, ladies and gentlemen, that they are, well, not they, 2K has I guess torn up the contract and canceled a game that they were working on for over 2 years. And People Can Fly are a great studio. Obviously, they've done some games that a lot of people love or really hate in Gears Judgment, but they also did. What was the game that they did that you use like combos and stuff? My God, why am I blanking on the name?
Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm. Thank you, Daniel, for the save. I loved Bulletstorm. Quite enjoyed that game. So now the question that I'm going to have for the panel, and of course the 400 people that are still here listening to us yap about video games, is could they become the next first-party studio to join Xbox Game Studios? Would they be a proper fit to the XGS? I'll start with you, Josh, first on this, brother. Shout out to Saint Reborn, who's put Bulletstorm. A lot of people did, so thank you for the help. They made Outriders. Outriders was very good. The DLC is phenomenal. King David can't stop talking about it. I think they would make a great addition, because not only could they make their own games, they would be one hell of a support studio. They're big enough to do both. Josh, what are your thoughts? The 2K no longer working with this studio. The game that they were working on canceled. Should Microsoft swoop in?
I mean, this kind of ties into what we just talked about, and they would be a perfect fit for an offshoot Gears game to potentially fill maybe not a complete brand new Gears game, but get them going on the remasters or the remakes or something. They seem to have the chops for it, and I think they could be a great addition there. But again, I mean, Outriders is such a strange game. You have people that really love it, and then you have people that were just kind of like, what is this? It was like the strange mix of Mass Effect and Gears of War, right? And it mixed in with a little bit of Destiny as well. And so it was just kind of like, what are we, what sometimes that works. Those risks work. I love the fact that they took that risk, and other times that kind of stuff's just not, it's going to kind of fall short. Right. And so they definitely have the chops. There's no question there. And so to put them in and I think, I mean, more than likely it's Xbox that prolonged the inevitable with them getting canned sooner with Game Pass, having those extra funds come in, and essentially Game Pass pays for the development, right? Isn't that kind of the what we know about Game Pass? So to have that, the publisher obviously had to love that, and then they'd be a great fit. Bring them on board. Like, I know that game is a hit or miss in plenty of people's eyes, but you can see their chops. You can see their passion comes through in what they've created. And so get them over here. Let them help out with what the Outer Worlds or some Fallout, or there's get them on as a support team. Hell, let them help with 343 just to get something with Halo out there. Like Xbox just needs games at this point, right? And so let's bring them on board.
I absolutely agree. I think they would be a great studio. Like I said, I think that they do have the chops to deliver their own game, but at the same time, they would be a magnificent support studio to help on games with the Coalition, with 343, with any studio that needed, development chops or hands-on experience to finish said game. Boxenberger, let's bring you into the conversation. What do we do here with with People Can Fly? Because I still think that there is something to be said about having that studio join Xbox, simply because they've worked so well with them over the years. And you know what? Maybe if they had the backing of someone like a Microsoft, they could make the next new IP that would be Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I just briefly want to say something about them being a great support studio. I think that's a little waste of resources. People Can Fly have proven that they are fantastic developers. Maybe they didn't always have the biggest budgets, but they have done a really good job. It's not easy to get handed over an IP like Gears of War and still make a game that plays as well as Judgment did. And it had a couple of fun multiplayer modes as well that the other Gears games didn't have. Bulletstorm was fantastic. I loved it. It had some very unique first-person shooter elements, and even Outriders. Yes, controversial. You could argue about the amount of end game content, but I really enjoyed the campaign. It was, especially in co-op, it was a lot of fun to play through. The powers were fun. The moment-to-moment combat was fun. I think they are a great studio, and they would be a great get for Xbox. The thing is, of course, let's hope nobody picks them up and before Microsoft actually can. I feel like this is one of the good examples why I hope that this Activision Blizzard deal is gonna be over soon. Honestly, it feels like Microsoft can't do anything these days because of that deal. They don't want to mess with this gigantic deal. And as excited as I am about the ABK deal, man, we've seen over the entire year a couple of misses. They missed Bungie. They missed, I'm blanking on the name, Tomb Raider.
Crystal Dynamics.
Dynamics.
And
thank you.
Eidos Montreal.
Eidos exactly. Montreal. Yeah. Those would have been also perfect gets. Yeah. Now we're talking about People Can Fly. Tencent has been out there acquiring a lot of stuff. It kind of feels like the longer this ABK deal goes, that the harder it is for Xbox to, not miss out on these real cool studios that would be a perfect match. And I feel People Can Fly would be that match. One of those studios that Microsoft could really help. They have the talent. They know how to deal with technology. They just need that little extra funding and maybe a little help in either great publishing or like in play testing and stuff like that. But that's exactly what the Xbox game studios are all about. Yeah, helping those little studios, smaller studios, to become the AAA juggernauts that they actually can be. They are a great, would be such a studio. I feel like Crytek is also something that would be a perfect match. And I just hope really that the ABK deal is going to be over soon and Microsoft can get back to pick up these hidden gems and not miss out on People Can Fly, Asobo, and you name them. Yeah. Before someone else
studios, you could be a part of that. I mean, there's so many studios.
Exactly.
I have a strong suspicion. Again, this is just an opinion, folks. So please don't hold my toes to the fire if it doesn't come true. I think that there are a lot of deals that were currently on the table before the ABK deal. We've heard rumors that there were a lot of studios that were going to be announced to join, that they had to pump the brakes on for the fact that they needed to get this deal done. I think not only because obviously tomorrow night on the new episode of Primetime Gaming with Wandering Dutch and Kay Asante and the crew, we're going to specifically be talking about two things. One of which is going to be the dirty tricks written in the contract for Sony's Jim Ryan. I mean, listen, you've heard a lot of opinions on it. They talked about it last night on Cult Show. Hargeet Chani, who's a good friend of this program, put his 2 cents, and him and I are on the same page where we think that this is malicious, whereas others say, no, it's just standard fare. And we're also going to be talking about what was reported that on Giant Bomb just yesterday, they were talking about specifically Microsoft's big push into Japan. And not only is it going to come the way of studios, it's coming the way of a big publisher. So next year is going to be fire. And I think studio acquisitions as well as potentially another publisher, i.e. Sega, joining the fray, might be something that we're talking about next year. But that's all going to be discussed. We have Risk It for the Biscuit joining us tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on New Primetime Gaming. Don't miss that episode. But yeah, good stuff, Boxenberger. Let's bring in Daniel McGee. Daniel, this is a studio that has a history with Xbox. People Can Fly have talent. They've proven it. Outriders, depending on who you ask. And I mean, listen, it was a success because many, many people were playing it. It was one of the biggest stories from last year because it launched into Game Pass, which blew everyone's mind, right? I didn't beat it. I got towards the end. I got to get back to it. I got the DLC. I paid for the DLC. I don't mind because I really enjoyed the game. Would People Can Fly be a studio you want to see join XGS?
I think it's one that makes a lot of sense. I don't know that it's necessarily one that would excite me. It is that thing where People Can Fly is a really good studio, and they certainly have the relationship with Xbox. There's no doubt about that. I think if People Can Fly could choose who to go to, it would almost certainly be Xbox. But I also don't know necessarily that them losing a publishing deal means that they 100% want to be acquired. They might just sign another publishing deal with somebody else,
right?
Or just get scooped up by the Embracer Group. I mean, they got their start making those Painkiller games, and apparently Embracer Group owns the IP for that. So I'm sure that they would like to get the original developers of that back. I think it would certainly be a good pickup for Xbox. Like they're a capable team. They have made good games in the past. I love Bulletstorm. I like Gears Judgment. And I can certainly see them being able to make a new IP while also helping out with some of the other ones. I mean, we're seeing sort of that same concept being applied to like certain Affinity, right? Where they're working on new games, but they're also working on multiplayer for Call of Duty. And we're even seeing that with like the Coalition, where they're helping out other studios, but also making their own games, right? Like it's not unheard of that they could do both. So I think in that regard, support studios is something that they really need. And if those support studios can also happen to put out really good games of their own, I think that's a bonus. But if I'm Phil Spencer and I'm going like, okay, hey, what are my next, 5 little small acquisitions? I don't necessarily think that People Can Fly is at the top of that list.
Listen, I hear you. And again, everyone's his opinion is of course accepted and wanted on this podcast. And I hear you. They're not top of or tip of the spear, as Kay Asante, who's in the chat, would say. But me personally, I really loved their games. I quite enjoyed Judgment. I quite enjoyed Outriders. I definitely enjoyed Bulletstorm. I think that they have the chops, and wow, man, you can give this team an older game, an older IP that maybe that we didn't know that we needed in our lives, and they could deliver. Listen, let's get Dreadpool in on the conversation. Dreadpool, People Can Fly has a great history, right? I just named 3 games that they did, right? They have done Judgment, which again, depending on who you ask, I loved it. Other people did not. They did Bulletstorm, which was phenomenal. They just finished Outriders. They did the Outriders DLC, very well reviewed. Do you want to see someone like that team join Xbox Game Studios? Should it be someone that Microsoft seeks out to see if they want to join the team?
Well, I'm still at uncertainty with them. They do put out good games, but at the same time, they don't listen to their fans. So when they released the expansion that they did for Outriders, it was more of the same, more of the good stuff, but yet again, more of the
But
bad
still
stuff.
some of the bad stuff that was left in there.
And
Yeah.
they just didn't listen. So, I mean, we already know Lord Cognito lost like everything he had.
Oh God,
Remember
yeah,
that?
he sure did.
It took a while.
Did.
So, that's bad publicity. Asoba, on the other hand, I agree that they're probably already part of it. It's just because the ABK deal, they have to hold back on actually making it official. But with their knowledge of Unreal Engine 4, yeah, they could, a cover-based shooter, they could help out Gears and do something. But I don't think Gears really needs any help.
I agree. I think what they're
as
doing is fine over there. Yeah.
I mean, if they want to be a support studio and or maybe help do a side project like they did with Judgment, okay, cool. I'm fine with that. But like I said, I just don't think that they need to be brought in just to help out Gears. I think, doing their own thing would be pretty good too.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Who's to say that they don't have their own new IP that they've been sitting on, and Microsoft acquires them, and Microsoft says, "Hey, listen, green light, go." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's just like Bungie. They were not acquired because Microsoft actually passed on them. Xbox saw what the upcoming game is, and they chose not to. They said, "Nope, not for us."
Yep.
So when you look at it like that, maybe, like you said, maybe they got something else in the works that they're pushing out there and saying, "Hey, look, they didn't like anything we were doing, so we held off on this until we knew what was going on. And now that we're separated, maybe we need a new publisher. Maybe we need a new team to control us and let us do our own thing and support us financially so we can actually make this pet project per se."
Yeah,
it's all up in the air. It's hard to tell. I don't know if it would be a good thing or a bad thing just yet.
Well, again, like you said, only time is going to tell. I think that they do have enough development chops. I think they would be a phenomenal studio. Are they a AAA studio? No, they're like a AA studio. But you know what? That's okay. That is okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there is certainly nothing wrong with that. And maybe they're AA because they don't have the funding. Maybe they can be transformed into a AAA because of funding, because that's usually what is the contributing factor. They add more talent to their studio. They have more development dollars to invest in. Again, we don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your 5-topic Xbox Factor for this Tuesday. 5 topics, ladies and gentlemen. And we still are going to be able to do outros and get everybody here on time. I want to thank the over 400 people that are here. Hopefully you're enjoying the gameplay footage of Proteus. Definitely, please go play this game. My God, it's so good. And it's an open, it's very corridor based, but it has a map system where you're kind of moving around on the map. There's a store where you can go buy things like double jumps and stuff, which I have yet to get, or other guns, which I just got the double barrel shotgun, which is dope, kind of like, double barrel gaming. But let's get to the outros. Josh, we'll start first with you. Sell your brand, brother. Talk about where people can race you in Mario Kart times 100 people. What you got going on, Mr. TikTok? And what else you got going on for your channel? Oh, you're on mute, brother. You're on mute. We got to hear the beautiful voice.
Oh, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe it. 13 years of podcasting. You think you'd learn, you'd think. But it's kind of exciting. I'm full-time making content now.
Nice, dude.
And
nice.
So yeah, the Nintendo Powercast is going strong. So if you guys want to hear some goofballs talk about Nintendo, I'm interviewing today at 12:30 my time. I'm interviewing the creator. If you guys have Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh my God, dude, I saw that. He made Super Mario 5.
Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the 7-year project that he's been doing, because I think
since
he started
2015. I saw the story. Yeah, you know what? Send me the information of where I can find that, because I want to download that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you his maker ID. I played through the first level, put it on my YouTube channel yesterday, and then so just real exciting stuff happening over on youtube.com/n64josh. A lot of videos coming out. n64josh.com, even, like, we're just really going hard into the content. And
Nice.
and then I also started a marketing company. So if you guys need a website or SEO stuff, check out immortalprime.com and hit me up there.
You are the man that has a lot of things going on. I can tell you that right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I love being here. Love getting to chat with you guys and talk Xbox. And Daniel, I'm glad you're here, regardless of what I said earlier. It's I just want to make sure you know that. That's all.
Oh man! Shout out to Ham Solo 05 Gaming, who says, "Sup, Boom! Happy belated birthday! Thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. Definitely appreciate that." Paul in the chat drops an outstanding $10 super chat and says, "The top 5 studios I want Microsoft to get is 1, Asobo, 2, Certain Affinity, 3, Sega, yes, 4, NetherRealm Studios, hell yes, and 5, People Can Fly. Xbox make acquisitions but not announce them." He's asking. It depends if they're privately, if they're privately owned. I think they could, because they don't have to announce anything for stockholders. But I think there could be talks. There certainly could be, hey, listen, such and such studio, we are considering, let's do the handshake, the old, we're gonna acquire you, but we just can't say anything right yet. I believe that happens in business, even in big business. But Boxenberger, do me a favor for just 2 seconds. Do your outro, do Daniel's and Dreadpool. I just have to take this call real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, people can find me everywhere under Boxenberger. I've got always content coming up. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, I'm working right now on a very, very exciting video that will drop tomorrow. And on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UK time, or 8 p.m. Central Europe, I have host my own podcast, The World of Gaming, where we cover everything that happened in gaming, news, games, technology. We talk about everything. I do that with my wonderful co-host, Wandering Dutch, and we're gonna have an awesome show here this week. And other than that, I'm guesting on so many podcasts. You probably won't miss me, guys. But Danny, let people know where they can find you.
Right, so you can find me on Twitter at Daniel J. McG. That's Daniel J. MCG. Or on YouTube at just Daniel McG. I just put up a video last night about sort of how I think PlayStation is sort of pooping the shower right now. Like they're doing a lot of things that I don't agree with. And that video is actually surprisingly doing decently well. So maybe head over and go watch that. It's been a great show. Really, really glad that I got to hang out with you guys. Oh, Box is muted.
Oh, now he's muted.
It's happened again.
Oh, it happens to the best of us, Josh.
I was rubbing off on you. Forgive me.
It happens to the best of us. Yeah. No, awesome stuff, Daddy. Awesome stuff. And Dreadpool, let people know where they can find you.
Yes, as you can see on my screen, I have my little poster of everywhere you can find me. But definitely check it out. I've been dropping a whole bunch of shorts recently for Halloween. The next couple months, I'm going to be streaming horror games along with other games. So you'll see mixed stuff, cosplay, the Breaking Bread with Dread, which the last one I'm still trying to find someone to edit it for me and get it posted with myself and Carlo from 4GQ TV, aka Italian Clowns.
Yes.
So we've been doing 360 videos. So check out the website, the YouTube channel. And then obviously, as you can see, everywhere else you can find me. But I got to say, thank you most importantly to everybody in the chat for showing up.
Indeed.
It always pushes the show. Definitely subscribe to everybody here.
Yep.
Daniel, I just subscribed to you. I'm doing it right now.
Nice.
You're at 470, and now you're at 471, brother.
Thank you very much.
nice actually talking to you. Same thing with N64 Josh. It's great meeting you also. And then Boxenberger.
Likewise.
It's been a while, but
It has, yeah.
definitely. We need to get in touch again.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need to get you on the world of gaming, man.
Yeah, just hit me up and let me know. We'll figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
So, but again, thank you for having me on today. I know it was last minute. I just
dude, I love it.
up.
I'm glad I checked my DMs. I was like, absolutely, jump on there, brother. This is great.
I mean, they said, hey, we're shutting down. I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I can play some games, or let me talk some games before I play some games, because for a while there, I'm not going to be able to do anything if I lose power.
Oh,
so
God. Well,
everybody down here in Florida, please be safe.
Yes.
And as always, my DMs are always open. If you need to talk about something, get it off your chest. I may not know what to say, but at least you'll have an ear. Somebody will listen to you, and you can just, it could be I could be that stranger that you could just get it off your chest, and we can go from there. So
yeah,
it's that time of season again. People are starting to get those weird thoughts we don't want. We want everybody to be with us and enjoy gaming. So remember, share the hobby, everybody. Don't fall into the trolls.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending your 2 hours of your day here. Again, this was a great show. We got to 5 topics and some really important ones on top of that. Of course, I want to say a big thank you to all the super chats, all the channel members. Like I said, we've crossed 103 channel members, and that's, like I said, that's a really big deal for a small channel like us. Again, those dollars that come our way do allow us to make so many improvements to the channel through equipment, as well as give back as much as we do. By the end of the year, we will have doled out over $3,000 worth of digital prizes this year, and there are still 1,500 more to come in the form of a big event coming for November, as well as the big one in December, where we're giving $1,000 away on a breakfast with Boom for the holidays, and it's just our way of giving back, and of course helping the kind gamers out during a time in the world where it's money's hard to come by, and everything is expensive. So it's just our way of giving back. And of course, I'm going to close out the show, folks, with something that's important to me, folks. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he said, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast.